Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Monday, the 23rd of January. Good to have you aboard. We are a Blue Wire podcast. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here at the start of the week. Got a great show planned today. We're going to have some fun. Hopefully we get the week started off on the right note. I do have to tell you, well, of course, every show on ZASLOW Show 2.0 is presented by Anidjar and Levine, Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. If you've been involved in an accident, you got an injury from an accident, it could be car, boat, motorcycle, slip and fall, whatever it is, you get an attorney on the phone immediately, 800-747-FREE. Let Anidjar and Levine take care of you. You got to take care of yourself. You got to get better, you got to heal up, and let them get you the money that you deserve. So again, Anidjar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. I also have to let everybody know, I apologize for the late start to the show today. Normally the show is already out before I'm even recording this right now, but I had some personal stuff to get to this morning. Fact of the matter is, I had a funeral this morning for a childhood friend of mine who passed away, who lost a 20-plus year battle to cancer. You know, my age, year older than me, but has been battling cancer on and off for a little bit more than half his life. Was diagnosed 19, 20 years old around that time, and he passed away a couple of days ago. So yeah, so that's what this morning has been. So again, I apologize for the late start at getting this out here, but today has been a very strange day. Yeah, and there's no other way to put it. So again, I like being transparent with you guys, but rough start to the week here for myself, for my family, and really for all of the Jewish community who knew Josh, which, I mean, he was super popular and just the sweetest guy. And so today, this morning, we had the funeral, and tonight you got a whole other deal as well. So it's going to be it's a tough start to the week. But anyway, so that's what I had going on this morning. So again, I apologize. I'm sure you're saying, ZASLOW, no apology necessary, but I like being honest with you guys. So that's what I got going on right now. But all right, everything's okay. So anyway, I had a great weekend. I hope everybody had a nice weekend. I told you, we were celebrating for my birthday on Friday night. We got NFL stuff to get to, and to get to the NFL right away. The Heat win yesterday. You got Shannon Sharpe. He's wildin'. Shannon's wildin' at the Laker games. And we're going to talk to our pal Craig Minervini, Bally Sports. Some of you may know him, of course, as former WWF announcer Craig DeGeorge, all right, from 35 years ago. But if you don't know him from that, of course, you know Craig Minervini. We're going to talk Panther hockey with him. Panthers have a huge game tonight. A huge pair, actually, as our pal Randy Moeller would say, tonight and tomorrow at New York Rangers at Pittsburgh. So we'll get to that with him. All right, before we get to the NFL stuff, I do want to tell you, we went out for my birthday on Friday night. We went to the Dania Improv. I love the guys at Dania Improv. They really take care of me. But we did a VIP meet and greet, so got to see my favorite comedian, Bryan Callen. The timing was so great that it's for my birthday, and he's here. Maybe he knew, I don't know. And so we got to go see Bryan Callen, who is my favorite. And I've seen like 3 or 4 times now. And let me tell you something. Obviously, he was great. He killed, all right? But from top to bottom, I love going to the Improv. From top to bottom, from the host, and if I knew their names off the top of my head, I would shout them out. But from the host, and then there's like an opening act, and then you got the main attraction, which of course is Bryan Callen. But from the start to finish, as great a night of comedy I've ever been at. I couldn't believe how good the openers were too. Top to bottom, such a good night. So funny. If you went to the Improv this weekend, if you saw Bryan Callen, just what a great show. And not just Bryan, the other guys in front of him too. What a great night. So we got to meet him afterward. We got to take a picture, do the whole VIP meet and greet thing. So that was really fun. If you saw Bryan Callen again this weekend, you had a great time. What a great show. So we had a lot of fun. I do want to mention real quick. So we had seats near the front, which I hate. I hate that. Because if you sit near the front, especially at an intimate look, if you're sitting near the front in a theater or an arena show, the guy's not going to mess with you, all right? But at the Improv, where, you're right on top of the comedian, I hate sitting in the front. I hate sitting in the front for a couple reasons. Number one, if I don't laugh at a joke, I feel weird. I feel bad. I feel like he could see that I'm not enjoying the show. Although that never happens. I never go to see a comedian that I don't really like. Although, who knows? Maybe when the host or the opener, I don't laugh at all their jokes. I don't know them, So I feel weird sitting in the front. Like, I feel like I have to laugh if I'm sitting in the very front. So there's that reason. And also, I don't want to be part of the show. If you're sitting in the front, you need to be prepared to be part of the show. There's a pretty good chance the comedian is going to have some type of back and forth with you. So we were sitting, we were in the front, but not like the very front. But we're at the first table. They pack it in there at the Improv. So we're in an area where, we may have to interact with the comic, but hopefully not. Well, bottom line is, we did not have to interact. Thank God, because I hate that. But here's the point. If you're sitting in the very front, you need to be prepared to have some kind of interaction. You need to go into it mentally prepared. All right, if he says something to me, I'll say something, but that's it. You got to be prepared to say something. And at one point in the show, the opener, he was having a back and forth, or he was trying to have a back and forth with the guy who was sitting immediately in the front. If you're not prepared to have a little back and forth, you can't sit in the very front. When they come to seat you, you say, oh no, I don't want to sit here in the very front. I'll sit here in the second seat at least. The opener's trying to have a back and forth with the guy, and he's a freaking mute. Is just staring at him and just kind of giggling, and the guy's talking to him, and he's not getting anything out of it. You gotta say something. Otherwise, don't sit in the front. You cannot, it's not just, hey, I got the best seat in the house. Nah, if you're at a comedy show and you got the best seat in the house, you better be prepared to say something. If the comic has something to say to you. You're sitting there like a wall, doing nothing. Oh, it was so annoying to me. I turned to him, I go, you gotta say something if you're sitting in the front. And other than that, great night. Great show. Love that Brian Cowan. He is my favorite. So again, and I love those guys at the Dania Improv. Really great week of football. Super Wildcard Week, it was better as far as the games go. But, look, divisional round, stakes are super high. Let's get to it. Our NFL rundown for the divisional round. You know what we're talking about here. And, of course, every week throughout this football season, one of our great sponsors, Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. They bring us our NFL rundown every single week. You need insurance on your home so you got that peace of mind. So you know that God forbid something happens, some kind of natural disaster. You need to make sure you're taken care of. The market's confusing out there. You can't just go online, type in home insurance. Oh, I'm going to go with you. No, it doesn't work like that, all right? Bruntinsurance.com. Let them sort it all out for you. Fully licensed staff. They know the area from Pensacola to the Keys and beyond. Brunt Insurance and Financial Services is delivering comprehensive insurance and financial solutions tailored to your needs. I've been with Brunt Insurance for about 10 years now. They've been covering my home for me, so I know if something happens, I'm going to be taken care of. I'm not going to be left out in the lurch. Bruntinsurance.com, 954-589-2204. If you're looking for affordable care that has the best coverage for your automobile, motorcycle, boat, hey, you're making the right call going to Brunt Insurance there as well. Their team has the expertise, the experience. They're going to find the right coverage for you. They're going to make sure that, it could be your home or your renting, condo insurance, whatever it is. There's so many options out there. You don't have to look any further. I use Brunt Insurance. You're going to get taken care of by them as well. Again, bruntinsurance.com, 954-589-2204. Greg Brunt and his group there, they're going to make sure that you're all set. Let's get to it here. Our divisional round NFL rundown. We'll start out with Saturday afternoon's action. The Kansas City Chiefs and Jaguars. We know the big story here. The Jaguars are kind of hanging around early on, but then the Chiefs they're cooking. And then Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. He stays out there. He's doing the whole limping. It looks bad. They got to bring Henny in. And Henny engineers this 98-yard touchdown drive. They wind up scoring there as well. Patrick Mahomes comes back in the second half. The game's like the Jags are hanging around. Excellent backdoor cover there from Jacksonville. It's a 10-point game. They kick the long field goal. They say, hey, let's get a field goal here. We'll try the onside kick, try and get the touchdown. They get the field goal. So if you had the Chiefs, obviously, -9.5 or even 10, you went from winning or a push to the Jags with the backdoor cover. Chiefs win 27-20. Mahomes 22 for 30, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce's unstoppable. 14 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence in his second career playoff game, 24 for 39, 217 yards, a touchdown and interception. It really seems like the Jags got it right. They're heading in the right direction, not just with Trevor Lawrence, but Doug Peterson. What a terrific job. If I'm a Jaguar fan, I'm not because F the Jaguars, but if I'm a Jaguar fan, yeah, like I'm super pleased with the season. Jags win a playoff game. I'm a Dolphin fan. I haven't watched my team win a playoff game in 22 years. It's more than half my life. What a disaster. So the Chiefs, they are now going to host the AFC Championship game for the 5th consecutive season. Besides that, Patrick Mahomes, and I think it's 4 straight for Patrick Mahomes, maybe it's 5 straight, but for the 5th consecutive season, Andy Reid and the Chiefs are hosting the AFC Championship game, and still, Patrick Mahomes has never played a road playoff game. Crazy. Obviously, throughout the week, you're keeping an eye on Mahomes' status. That's a super big story, but the Chiefs, with Mahomes hobbled, don't look so unbeatable anymore. We'll get to that part coming up. The Eagles, Saturday night, the Eagles, just trashed the Giants. Tough way for the Giants season to end, especially after such a great win at Minnesota in the wild card round, super wild card round. They had a great season at 9-7-1, but the Eagles were too much. They embarrassed their division rival there. Jalen Hurts, 16 for 24, 154 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had 34 yards rushing and a touchdown on the ground. Devonta Smith, 6 catches, 61 yards and a touchdown. Daniel Jones and the entire Giants offense really struggled. He was 15 for 27 for just 135 yards. He also had an interception. And here's the call on the Eagles radio network to close the game.
This time, handoff to Brightwell, takes off to the outside, comes across midfield, runs into Eagles territory, and that's going to do it. That's going to do it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Philadelphia Eagles have reached the NFC Championship game.
So the Eagles, look, we're potentially looking at the Andy Reid Super Bowl, right? Andy Reid's former team versus his current team. That's a built-in story right there. The league would probably like that. Hey, maybe it's fixed. I don't know. But the league would probably like that. So the Eagles, they're back in the NFC Championship game. Of course, they won the Super Bowl. What are we talking, like 5-6 years ago it was? The Bengals in Sunday afternoon. Now, this is the big story, right? The 2 biggest stories of the divisional round took place on Sunday, right? So the Bengals beat the Bills 27-10. Joe Burrow, 23 for 36, 242 yards and 2 touchdowns. Joe Mixon, 20 carries for 105 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen, he stunk. 25 for 42, 265 and an interception. He had 26 yards rushing and a touchdown on the ground. And of course, after the game, Joe Burrow was talking to Tracy Wolfson.
We talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC Championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
So, the Bengals winning means that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have the home playoff game. If it was the Bills, then the game was going to take place in Atlanta. Tickets had already went on sale. Joe Burrow is the coolest. I find the Bengals to be very easy to root for. I find Joe Burrow to be very easy to root for. He's super cool. Obviously, I wanted the Bengals to win this game because F the Bills. Yeah, that's right. I said it. It's enough already. I'm sorry. It's enough. I'm not going to feel bad for being happy that Buffalo lost. I'm so happy that DeMar Hamlin's doing okay, that he's much better. I don't know what his football career is going to be like, but as far as his quality of life, thank God he's okay. He looks like he's doing great. He was at the game. It was a blizzard there. But I'm so over having to pretend like the Buffalo Bills are the team of destiny, like they're America's team somehow. F the Buffalo Bills. I'm so glad they're done. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to feel bad for rooting against them, and I'm not going to feel bad for being happy that they're done. I hate the Buffalo Bills. I'm so tired of everyone talking up the Buffalo Bills, who, let's be honest here, were the most overrated team in football this year. What other way to look at it? The most overrated team in all of football this year. We went into this season, right? The Bills, they're the best team in the NFL. They're the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing. Josh Allen, he's amazing. He sucked in the playoffs. He's been terrible this playoff. And the Bills, after almost losing to the Dolphins and Skylar Thompson last week, got their shit kicked in by the Bengals this week. I said that last week, right? After the game, like, for me, and hey, the Dolphin fans not going to feel good about me saying this, but based on what we just saw with the Bengals and the Bills, the Dolphins, like, the Bills almost lost that game last week as opposed to the Dolphins almost winning that game last week. And that's what I said from the get-go. To me, this is 100 red flags about the Buffalo Bills were raised after that victory against the Dolphins. The Dolphins offense did nothing all game long against Buffalo. They took advantage, and not even so much took advantage because they were just getting field goals out of it, but they took advantage of a reckless quarterback, turnovers all over the place, and penalties. That game last week was so much more about the Bills almost losing than it was about the Dolphins almost winning. And I don't know how you can possibly deny that after what you saw the Bengals do to the Bills this weekend. The Bills were so overrated all year long. And here's another thing. How do you watch that game? If you're a Dolphin fan, how do you watch Bengals and Bills this weekend and not say to yourself, if we had Tua, we'd blow the Bills out? Because it's the truth. That's what would have happened. If the Dolphins had Tua, I told you going into that game, with Skylar Thompson, you got no chance. All right? No chance. But Teddy Bridgewater, maybe a chance. Tua, win the game. How do you watch Bengals-Bills this weekend and not say, if Tua was playing, we'd have kicked their ass? They would have. I don't know what happened to the Bills. Hey, maybe mentally, were they shell-shocked after what happened with Damar Hamlin? Totally possible. I don't know what happened with the Bills over the last however many games, but that was not a good football team that we saw these last couple weeks. There's no reason that the Dolphins should have been allowed to hang around last week, and the Bengals, when going into the game, I was saying to myself, all right, the Bills are, what were they? I think they were a 5-point favorite, maybe 4.5 by kickoff. I got no idea what's going to happen in this game. No idea. Bengals go up 7-0. Then you got Bills turnover. Bengals, I think it was a fumble. And then I was like, Bengals are going to blow them out. We were like 7-8 minutes into the game. Yeah, you know what? I had no idea what was going to happen in this game the entire week. It's pretty clear now. Bengals are going to smoke them. They're going to blow them out. That game was never close. Most overrated team in the league this year, Buffalo Bills. Super disappointing season for them, and I'm glad. I'm tired of pretending like I don't hate the Buffalo Bills. It's enough already. Get the hell out of my life. And finally, the San Francisco 49ers. Look, they've been tremendous. What's it now? 10, 11, 12 wins in a row now. They beat the Cowboys 19-12. But I like this game a lot. I like a good low-scoring battle, okay? And I wanted the Cowboys to win because I like when the Cowboys are involved. Brock Purdy, ho-hum, 19 for 29, 214 yards. He's never lost a game. Best quarterback. If you never lose, you're the best quarterback. McCaffrey, 10 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown, 6 catches, 22 yards. He scores a touchdown every game. Dak Prescott was awful. 23 for 37, 206 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. And the last drive, I mean, forget that, McCarthy, who is as soft as it gets when it comes to taking chances. That last drive when the Cowboys get the ball back, what a disaster.
Get a chunk play.
3rd and 1. That's not a chunk play, but it is a first down. It'll stop the clock with 27 seconds. No, they're going to wind the clock.
Yeah, you have to be going forwards if you're contacted going out of bounds. You got to fight through that contact.
They're going to run the play instead of spiking it. Prescott being chased. In trouble. Throws into traffic. Incomplete with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, so let's go back to the Dalton Schultz catch where they wound the clock. When you go out of bounds, you have to be going forwards if you are contacted by the defender. So you see how Dalton Schultz is kind of running sideways? Travarius Ward, he knows the rule. They coach that. You've got to turn up, be physical into contact, and get that official to stop the clock.
They're not good enough offensively. They're not, I mean, CeeDee Lamb is awesome, obviously, but the running situation is kind of rough. I mean, Zeke is what it is. Dak Prescott, Sunday, that my biggest takeaway from the divisional round was this weekend was a major indictment against both Josh Allen and Dak Prescott as far as being big-time quarterbacks. Josh Allen doesn't win a big game. And Dak Prescott, I said this when they gave Prescott the big deal. I like Prescott. It's fine. But you can't give him that contract that he asked for, because you then have to ask yourself, is like the quarterbacks who get that contract, you have to ask yourself, can this guy carry the team? Because when they're on their rookie contract, you could put a bunch of other great pieces around them. But when you give the quarterback that money, you're not going to be able to pay everybody. So can the quarterback carry the team? And I don't believe Prescott can carry the team. And I think you saw that this weekend. He's fine. You could win with Prescott, but not paying him that kind of money. You got to be able to put the pieces around him. He was terrible on that final drive. Throwing the 8-yard passes. Buddy, you got to go 94 yards in less than a minute. What are you throwing 8-yard underneath passes for? And what's his name? Dalton Schultz. Can you get a clue? Greg Olsen was all over it with that call, and a former tight end as well. Can you get a clue with the rules? You got to make sure that clock gets stopped. What's the matter with you? And then the final play. Like, McCarthy, what the F? What the hell what are you doing? Ezekiel Elliott is snapping the football, which of course makes him ineligible. Ezekiel Elliott snapping the football. You think you're gonna pull off some type of miracle finish with this bullshit? Very disappointing finish to the season for Cowboys, and Prescott was terrible. So Joe Burrow's a top quarterback in the NFL. If you didn't know, now you know. And Prescott and Josh Allen, big takeaway from this weekend. Allen puts up the big numbers. I know Tony Romo wants to scream and cry that he's an alien. I don't understand that. But Josh Allen doesn't win big games. He's actually terrible in the big games. Really reckless. And Dak Prescott, not big time. He is not a big time quarterback. He's fine. You can win with him. But man, the situation's got to be perfect. He is not a big time quarterback. He was terrible yesterday. So, there you have it. Your AFC Championship is set. You got the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are going to win that game. And then you got the San Francisco 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. That's going to be awesome as well. Wow, what a divisional round weekend. And again, of course, our NFL Rundown always brought to us by Brunt Insurance. BruntInsurance.com. Make sure you get your home, your automobile, your boat. You got to get covered. Get that peace of mind. 954-589-2204. That's 954-589-2204.